All right, Russian forces starting to leave Syria today after Vladimir Putin's withdrawal announcement. We reported on Putin's announcement to withdraw Russian forces from Syria just as it happened right on this show here yesterday on the Intelligence Report. You know, that announcement, it has certainly taken the White House by surprise again. Don't forget, Putin also caught the Obama administration off guard when he initially launched those airstrikes in Syria. Joining me right now with his analysis of the situation is political commentator and author of Winter is Coming: Why Vladimir Putin and the Enemies of the Free World Must Be Stopped, the most famous chess player in the world, Garry Kasparov. Good to see you.
Thanks for inviting me.
So I was saying, you know, this news broke at the top of our hour yesterday, and I was pretty surprised.
I was pretty surprised.
You were surprised
also,
as well.
I'm not surprised that the White House was surprised. We're used to that.
Right.
But it is not a great strategic move. You know, Putin entered Syria. It was like a Hollywood-like entry, and it's off-Broadway exit. And when you look at the report, you know, his face, the face of Minister of Defense, especially Minister of Defense, Shoigu, I mean, he was colorless. And also Lavrov, the Minister of Foreign Affairs, was not happy. I think this exit, and it's a hasty exit.
Sure.
This is not order retreat, because Putin could have sold it, you know, as a very important bargaining chip, negotiating with Obama, with Europeans. But he just said, tomorrow, we're out.
We're out.
Which means, you know, the reasons for this decision, they had nothing to do with Europe or America. You should look into Syria. One possible explanation is that maybe Assad was trying to cut a separate deal with Syrian rebels, protecting his future, his life, and maybe cutting a little piece, you know, like, you know, a kingdom for Alawites kingdom with Latakia condition. Get Russians out. Second is, let's not forget, you know, recently there were Kurdish terrorist attacks in Turkey. And it seems that Erdogan's, Turkey's involvement, you know, invasion of Syria could be imminent because Erdogan promised to retaliate. That's another danger. But I think one of the reasons that nobody paid attention to the fact that 3 days ago there was a report about another Soviet-made plane brought down in Syria. They said, oh, maybe it was an old one. I don't think so. I think it was a new one.
He doesn't want to lose anyone.
If Saudis or Turks, you know, supplied rebels with manpads, with surface-to-air missiles, and if another Russian pilot was killed, I think it could be a revolt among Russian officers there, because they're pilots, they're not kamikaze. I mean, they're slaughtering civilians, and they know that if rebels got surface-to-air missiles, then every Russian plane will be brought down.
So this is a big hit to al-Assad. I mean, Putin was his biggest protector. Is this good for us?
No, forget Assad. You know, this is a big hit for Putin, because first time he showed weakness, he blinked. Now, we don't know what will be his next move, because he has to recover. He's desperate now. He has to recover the image of a strong man, so which means he could do something very drastic in Ukraine or elsewhere. But the way it was presented on Russian television, you couldn't help by smelling the panic. I mean, you saw Putin's face. He was definitely unprepared. You know, normally the big announcements of that type, you know, they made, you know, just with every possible preparation. You know, it was poorly staged. So that's why I think, you know, he made a decision, you know, in some kind of a panic. We'll find out more in the next few days. But again, unfortunately, we don't have, you know, an administration that could benefit from this and to help, you know, Syrians to restore peace and stability in the region. By the way, let's also agree on something. We can establish the fact that Putin lied when he said that the reason to go into Syria was to fight ISIS. ISIS is still there.
Sure.
And Putin he barely touched them, because less than 10% of Russian airstrikes, you know, hit ISIS. He was there to protect Assad, and whether his mission accomplished or not, we'll find out.
Garry, let me ask you about another issue very much in the news these days, and that's socialist Bernie Sanders, who's gaining a lot of steam and a lot of support, especially among millennials here. Having grown up in a communist regime, obviously there's significant differences between socialism and communism, but I'll just say it. I mean, socialism is one step away. What are your thoughts on his success and the momentum that he has managed to garner up?
Unfortunately, there are so many problems in this country now, and that's why people are looking for simple solutions. On one side, you have, you know, Donald Trump, who attacks, you know, the civil liberties. On the other side, you have Bernie Sanders, who is basically denying the validity of the free market. And I can tell people that, you know, whether, you know, I understand the argument that Soviet Union was, the communist country, but, it was a system based on the state control of economy and state control distribution of services. And it's not going to work. And America can't afford to be another Scandinavia or another European country with a lot of, social services offered for free by the state, because America has many other responsibilities. For decades, it protected Europe and the free world against Soviet threat. America has massive military spending, and also America is an engine for innovations. Yeah. Germany doesn't have a Silicon Valley. So and the Silicon Valley, the climate of innovations cannot be mastermind in the socialist run economy.
Yeah, no, well put. Garry Kasparov, wonderful to see you, sir. Thank you so much. Good luck with the new book. Everybody should check it out. Garry Kasparov, everyone.